Greetings from Dr. B and STEM Sherpa. Last time we were talking, or I was talking about a value balance. How do you know what is true and what is false? It's hard and it's important. What I suggested last time, and we're going to expand on this time, is that you start sentences such as I think, I believe, everybody knows at 50-50. What your job as an effective listener is to evaluate their statements. Is the moon made of green cheese? It looks that way. Does the vaccine work or does the vaccine not work? So we're going to start that discussion, but we're going to do a simple system in which I have a bird here that we've seen before that dips down and picks up water and drinks. It's called the drinking bird. And what I'm going to do is I have some hot water and some cold water, and it's some intermediate temperature. We'll make sure it's well mixed, and we're going to try to figure out why this bird is dipping down there. So we'll start the bird with hot water. It's a closed system. There's only so many ways I can make this green dye move up. And we'll just start our timer when the bird finally starts dipping down for water. So you can see the green going up. Got my phone about ready. We'll start it now. And that's one cycle. And that's 11 seconds. I'm trying to figure out why hot water seems to make this bird go faster. Or does it go slower? Well, we need a standard. We need a number. So if I had a hypothesis that by heating up the rear end it will go this way, let's try that. Let's try another hypothesis. Let's try a different temperature. So the scientific method is to find a number of seconds for this bird to dip down and up. So we'll take half this water out and we'll put in. Gotta make sure my ice cube doesn't flow out. Maybe you've seen a bird like this before. I'm going to mix that up one more time. And yes, thinking and playing around doing chemistry is a messy business. So we're just about ready for it to go over. It'll take a while for it to come to an equilibrium rate because the heat diffusing in. Let's see, it would be nice to have a thermometer, but you don't need a thermometer. We just need to measure, in this case, what's happened when I'm using a different temperature of water. Here we go. "13 seconds. Let's cool it down a little bit this time. Pour that water out. Pour just a little warm water in and a lot of cold water. Mix it. You notice it's still going, even though I've taken the heat away. Let's try this. Reset. And it's coming up. What we're trying to look at is to go one way or the other, look at the fruit of what's going on. My hypothesis is right. The hot water makes it go dip down, and the cold water that I've just put in here, it had a little bit of warm, but it's not ice water, will take longer. And that's how I test a hypothesis. Can you do it without numbers? It's not as neat, but say you have a hypothesis that the moon is made of green cheese. Most of us, we don't care what it's made of because we don't have a green cheese concession. But when they were landing the Apollo spacecraft on the moon, they needed to know what type of surface it was. So what experiments did they perform? What type of number? Well, they sent probes up, satellites up, and when they landed, how far did they bury themselves? There we go. 35 seconds into the ground. Let's see if we can come up with another hypothesis. So why would hot water or water, I had to have his beak wet, work? Well, what is happening, my hypothesis is that it's evaporating now. You've perhaps worn wet clothes and they seem cold. Why? Because the water is evaporating. Evaporation is a cooling process, and so that would be consistent, that warmth at one end and evaporation at the other end propels this. This cools down, it helps the vapors condense, and the solution down here warms it up. I would like you to consider, from the month of February, January and February, 2 books that go into much more detail of how to repeatedly explore and try to find the truth of statements. One is Survival in an Imperfect World. Most things are going to be someplace down here. And The Art of Pragmatism. How do you know something is working and why is that important? Both of these books for the months of January and February are available at stemsherpa.com for $2 a piece. Buy one, $2 plus shipping. Buy both of them, $4 total for shipping. While you're there, look at some of the other books we have that explain and talk about science, and look for the use of experiments to determine are ideas helpful or not helpful. Helpful ideas don't have to be 100% true, but they help clarify a situation. Thank you for tuning in to Dr. B and STEM Sherpa. Go down there and drink a little bit more, will you?